Following programme has been granted a posthumous pardon from the Queen. Let it be told throughout the Shire that all charges of foul witchcraft, vile blasphemy, and evil spreading of the dreaded pox have been mercifully lifted by order of Her Majesty. Parents are reminded to keep their children away from church.
Grievous Bodily Radio is the prototype communications net for radio users. It can run multiple radio and television programs back to back at a speed high enough to cause epilepsy. If you experience dizziness, muscle twitching, and convulsions, simply avoid contracting rabies from the bite of a sick pig. Alpha scan initiated. Signal locked on fixed transmission. Frequency allocated to DigiNet grid.
You're watching BBC Two. Recent medical research has revealed that indulging in unprotected casual television can result in the spread of BBC Two deficiency syndrome. The virus can be transmitted from programme to programme by sharing dirty televisions or watching numerous televisions whose technical history you are unsure of. Contrary to popular belief, simply kissing a television or watching from a dirty toilet seat cannot transmit the disease, although it is likely to be passed on if you accommodate a man.
Yeah, it's Top of the Pops. I'm the flute player out of Kinnicky. You've never heard of me, but they couldn't get a DJ again this week, so it was me or Jack D. That was dumped there at number 21 with Daydreamer. And in keeping with TOTP's policy of getting any old tosser to present this show, we've got the shipping forecast doing the chart rundown.
At 10, Dodgy Rising. At 9, Robbie Williams, moderate to good. Gary Barlow, poor. New band Dogger Viking in at 5. Ocean Colour Scene falling more slowly. And at 1, prolonged chances of a severe Michelle gale warning.
We will be here forever.
Following a new marketing strategy dreamt up by BBC management, hell-bent on wasting money, the corporation have decided that simply changing the BBC logo isn't enough. Consequently, all network radio stations will be given a costly new identity based on the clever poetic idea behind the name Radio 5 Live. The new names, to be expensively printed on all radio letterheads, stationery and mugs, will now read Radio 4 Bore, Radio 3 Twee, and Radio 2 It's All For You. As a result of this new rhyming format, Radio 1 will have to change its name to Radio Hit.
Tonight on BBC One is panning out more or less like any other night. At 7, it's either Holiday with a cook or a gardener probably, or Watchdog with Anne Noying Robinson. Then at 7:30, there's High Drama in Albert Square.
Your days of slavery are numbered, perhaps even the minutes. For a long time, I've held you on the iron curb of reason, and it has made your mouth bloody. Oh, and Sanjay, would you watch the stall for me for 10 minutes? Thanks.
At 8, it's our brand new situation comedy, but you know what that'll be like, so you might as well turn over to watch the bill. And at 8:30, there's Brookside on Channel 4. The rest of tonight's programmes are bound to be repeated at some point, so you might as well watch them then. If I were you, I'd go to the pub. There's what the Radio Times describes as an erotic thriller on later that might be worth a watch after your girlfriend's gone to bed. Try not to get any on the settee, though. She'll go mad. I know I would. The weather and some over-familiar words from me as usual concludes our lineup tonight on BBC One.
And finally, the broadcasting channel and comedian BBC Two has died at the age of Aquarius. BBC Two started its career in the early 1920s as a music hall entertainer and children's conjurer, before going on to a successful career in broadcasting. It was in the late 1980s that BBC Two found its niche in continuous golf coverage and wildlife programmes. The entertainment world is in mourning today as it comes to terms with a huge gap in the scheduling.
Real Life Monsters is a new monthly educational magazine for your children. Over the months, your kids will learn without even realising it. Best of all, Real Life Monsters magazine builds step by step into a life-size iguanodon that you can keep in your free binder that you get free for no extra money or cost with issue 1. If by some twisted act of God this publication doesn't make it past the first issue, you'll still have a lovely free binder that you can use to collect the other free binders that we gave away with brilliant big machinery, amazing space wildlife, and Total Zoo Combat magazine. Please remember, Real Life Monsters is pornographic and is not suitable for children.
I'm a monster.
You have 1 messages.
Hello? ITV? Is Channel 4 here? I don't know if you can hear me, but I've been arrested by Turkish customs. Listen, that suitcase you gave me. Why the hell didn't you tell me you'd stashed stuff in a false bottom, eh? I got stopped getting on a plane and they found 30 minutes worth of a documentary about heroin. Christ, I'm bloody for it. They've confiscated all my programmes. Even Games Master, for God's sake. I could get 20 years for this, you stupid bastard. I'm stuck in a cell and this big tattooed radio station is looking at me really funny. Listen, mate, you better sort this or you're going down as well, you toe rag.
The BBC would like to make an apology with regard to the subtitling of BBC Two's recent transmission of Puccini's famous opera, The Bohème. Mimi knocks on Rodolfo's door because her candle has gone out. The subtitles should have read, "Please, kind sir, my flame doth expire," and not, "When you asked me to blow out your candle, I didn't realise this is what you had in mind." Similarly, in Act 2, as Mimi confesses to Marcello that she and Rodolfo have argued, the subtitles should have read, "Marcello, my love and I have quarrelled greatly," and not, "Minky Pink Pant Batter, #. As a result of these errors, the subtitler in question has been promoted to the BBC's teletext department.
Tonight, Jeremy Clarkson road tests some high-quality Moroccan black. Quentin Wilson travels to Holland and gets mashed out of his box on some of Amsterdam's finest, while Steve Berry takes a blast on the new Ducati Super Skunk. All this on tonight's Top Gear.
You're watching Channel 4. Later, we continue the 4th series of our sci-fi Star Trek spin-off with big hair 70s pop group combination. Londo has ended the threat of the Shadows and Vorlons with the Larg Treaty, but Sheridan is still by the rivers, where he sat down, and there he slept as he remembered Zion. The Rivers of Babylon 5 is tonight at 10:45.
Due to fluctuations in the space time continuum, Radio 3 is running behind a schedule. Therefore, the next 4 pieces of music will be played simultaneously. Peter.
Well, they're in the starting blocks, and they're off. Dvorak Symphony No. 9 is first away, followed by Rachmaninoff Symphony No. 2 in E minor. Coming up fast, Sanson Organ Symphony No. 3 in C minor, Opus 78, and as they near their first fret, oh, he's fallen. Violin Concerto in D minor by Sibelius has fallen. Julian.
Thank you, Peter. Well, with a furlong to go, it's Sanson Symphony first, Rachmaninoff second, but Dvorak Symphony No. 9 has fallen well behind. As they come to the finish, it's the Organ Symphony in C minor, written by Sanson, conducted by Simon Rattle there, and played by the Birmingham Symphony Orchestra.
Then, in Act 3, Mimi weeps and says, "Oh, Rodolfo, my love is true," not, "I'll drink your foaming flagon of ale until I'm full, you big man."
After the break on Meridian, stay tuned for a new series, Weird Things, with strange Carol Vorderman, or Michael Aspel probably. They jump on the lucrative paranormal bandwagon and, amongst other things, investigate disappearing fish, the formation of some crap circles in Wiltshire, and an alleged noise. That's Weird Things next. Unless, of course, your head vanishes or the dog spontaneously combusts, or you get so sick of this rubbish that you kick the bastard telly in.
Later on Radio 4... a chance to hear the first part of Jimmy McGovern's new dramatisation of the Today programme. It tells the story of young Scouse girl Sue McGregor as she takes a ticket out of the dead-end world of Liverpool to the dazzling lights of London. There, she teams up with dropout John Humphreys and small-time con artist James Naughty, and together they create an award-winning daily news and current affairs programme that manages to stay one step ahead of the law. Robbie Coltrane stars as Sue McGregor, with Rabbi Lionel Blue as the pimp. Did you hear that? Well, I just did. That intro is brilliant. Do you want me to do it again? I'll do it again. No, I'll do it again. I'll do it faster. I'll do it better. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hoo, hoo, ha. Who's the best? You're the best. Whoa, I'm the best. Yeah.
On Sky 1, it's Xena, scantily clad warrior sorceress. Xena. She's tough. And sexy. And medieval, like dragons. She's fighting for justice in a world of swords and fire and wizards and trolls and cheap special effects. Xena, ever ready to battle evil with her spells and skills and boobs. Xena, fighting dragons made of rubber and all the while wearing a see-through fur and leather bikini. Xena, the sort of program you always get on Sky. Xena. Costs about 30 quid a month for this, you know. Xena. Not worth it, is it? Xena. And those dishes look stupid on the side of your house. Sky Television. Simply not worth it. At all.
On BBC One now, a rare glimpse of the presenter Mike Smith. There's a chance to point at him and say, look, there's that Mike Smith. He hasn't worked much since he was on Noel Edmonds' Late Breakfast show in the 80s. It's odd, isn't it, that everyone who works with Edmonds ends up in a mess. I mean, look at Chequers, for God's sake. Ruined his life with a sick orgy of booze, drugs, and Maggie Philbin. That Edmonds is a curse if you think about it. He is the Dark One, cloaked and menacing. He preys by night on the unwary traveller, biting and sucking his blood until his thirst is sated and his body filled. Then, in the cursed moonlight, he drags the lifeless flesh to feed his children, the lesbian vampires who lie chained in the darkness of a secret wing of his stone castle. He watches them feed on the terrible bounty, and then he leaves the lair, casting no reflection or shadow as he scuttles across the crumbling walls like some kind of demonic winged bat. Noel's house party is at 7 o'clock.
Grievous Bodily Radio was written by John Holmes and Andy Hurst. It featured John Holmes, Andy Hurst, Peter Serafinowicz, Emma Clarke, and Mike Chequer. The producer was Phil Barker. A fatal error has occurred in this application, and this program will be terminated.